Hey there, Joy Seeker. Welcome back to Find the Joy with Jen. Today, we're talking about a topic that a lot of people are dealing with and thinking about, but not many people are talking about openly: dating, relationships, and intimacy after divorce, especially if you're part of the LDS and Christian communities. Because let's be honest, dating after divorce can feel awkward, confusing, and sometimes even a little terrifying. You might be asking yourself questions like, is it even okay for me to date again? What will people at church think? What if I pick the wrong person again? What if I never find someone? Or maybe you're wondering something else entirely, like, why does nobody ask anyone out anymore? Today, I'm going to talk about all of this: the fears, the cultural challenges, and the awkwardness, as well as the hope. And I want to give you some practical advice and a spiritual perspective for navigating dating and relationships after divorce, because this is one area where a lot of good people are really feeling stuck. Before we jump into today's episode, make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any of my future episodes. My goal is to help you navigate divorce with faith, clarity, and hope so you can truly find joy in your life again. And I have something really exciting to tell you about. It is my new Find the Joy app, which you can access right from my website, findthejoywithjen.com. Inside the app, you will find exclusive content, discounts on my courses and programs, daily inspirational messages to help you stay grounded during difficult seasons. And one of my favorite features that you can only access through the app, you can actually submit a question about anything you want, anything you're struggling with in the app, and I will personally respond to help guide you through it. So go get your app today at findthejoywithjen.com. So let's talk about the reality, friends. Dating after divorce and in midlife is just different. When you were younger, dating was simpler. You might have just met people at school or college or church activities or even through friends. And it probably wasn't through a dating app. You definitely didn't have the same life experience that you do today. You didn't have kids. You didn't have a marriage behind you. You had never dealt with betrayal or heartbreak or complicated life circumstances. Yeah, some people call it baggage. We all have it, friends. But after divorce, you bring a whole life with you. You may have children. You may have financial responsibilities or realities that are just facts of your life. You may have emotional scars. You're also bringing your wisdom that you didn't have before. But that wisdom sometimes shows up as fear: fear of making the wrong choice again, fear of trusting someone new, fear of opening up your heart. For so many of us in the LDS and Christian community, there is another layer. You may also feel spiritual pressure. You might wonder, did I fail my covenants? Will people judge me? Does God still have a plan for me and my life and my family? If you have ever felt this way, I want you to hear something today. Your story is not over, my friend. Divorce does not disqualify you from love and a joyful, beautiful, happy life. And it certainly does not disqualify you from God's plan for your life. So, why does dating in the LDS and Christian communities feel so hard? One of the most common things that I hear from my divorce clients is, Jen, why does nobody ask anyone out? It's almost like everyone is standing around waiting for someone else to make the first move. And I've found there are a few reasons for that. The first reason that I've noticed is the fear of rejection. Let's be honest, rejection hurts. And after divorce, people often feel more vulnerable than they used to. So instead of risking rejection, many people don't try at all. The second reason is the fear of judgment. In church communities, people sometimes worry about how their dating choices will be perceived. Is it too soon? What will people think? Will my kids be okay with this? So instead of navigating that tension, many people just avoid dating altogether. The third reason I've noticed is Everyone is waiting for someone else. Men sometimes feel unsure about whether it's appropriate to ask someone out. Women sometimes feel like they shouldn't be the one to initiate. So everyone waits and nothing happens. Meanwhile, there are so many amazing men and women sitting in the same pews every Sunday, wishing somebody would just say hello. Another thing everyone faces in divorce is the experience of deep loneliness. And I want to acknowledge something here, friends. Loneliness after divorce is real. When you've shared your life with someone and suddenly you're on your own again, it is incredibly difficult. You miss the companionship. You miss having someone to talk to at the end of your day. You definitely miss the physical connection. These feelings do not make you weak. They make you human. But here's something important to remember. Loneliness is not solved by rushing into the wrong relationship. One of the biggest mistakes people make after divorce is jumping into something too serious too quickly because they're trying to fill this hole in their heart and in their lives. And it can lead to repeating the same unhealthy patterns that contributed to the end of your marriage. Healing matters, friends. That self discovery that happens in the process is so important. And getting to know yourself again really matters. But at the same time, we don't have to swing to the other extreme and believe that we're supposed to be alone forever. Healthy companionship is a beautiful thing, and God designed us to yearn for and long for deep connection with others, and especially that one person that you share everything with. So, let me share some practical advice for dating after divorce. First, start with friendship. I call it making eternal friends. You don't have to jump straight to seriously dating someone. Start with just connection. Have conversations with men and women. Get to know them, get curious and interested in others, and make deep connections with others. Go to group activities, get to know people. Sometimes the healthiest relationships begin as friendships, and that takes a lot of pressure off. Second, take things slowly. Do not be in a rush. After divorce, it's actually wise to move slower than you may have ever done before. Give yourself time to see who someone really is. Pay attention to how they handle stress, how they show up in your interactions and in every other area of their life. Watch how they treat other people. Notice whether your values and life goals align. This is so important. Time reveals character, friends. Third, be honest about your life. If you have children, that is part of your story. It's part of who you are. If you've been through difficult experiences, that is also part of your journey. Healthy relationships are built on honesty. You don't need to overshare everything immediately, but you also don't want to hide who you are. The right person will respect and honor you for your story. Four, stop looking for perfection. One of the traps that many divorced people fall into is believing they must find the perfect person this time around. But perfection is not the goal because it's not reality. None of us are perfect, right? We're all just human. Compatibility is something you should really look for. Shared values, common goals, emotional maturity, and a willingness to grow together are great ideals to look for when you're dating. So let's talk about intimacy. This is another area that so many people feel confused after divorce. Intimacy can feel complicated. Some people avoid it completely because they're so afraid of getting hurt again. Others move on way too quickly and get physical because they're just craving connection. Healthy intimacy is built on trust, safety, and emotional connection. It's not just physical, it's about feeling seen, being respected, and feeling emotionally secure with someone. When you take time to build a relationship the right way, intimacy becomes something beautiful rather than something confusing or rushed. Another thing that I want to remind you of, friends, is that you are still under covenant with God. The law of chastity still applies, whether you're married or divorced. It is important, especially now more than ever, that you honor your covenants with God and keep yourself pure and virtuous while you're single. That is the best way to ensure a healthy, successful relationship the second time around. Let's talk about a spiritual perspective on love after divorce. I want to share something that I deeply believe. God is not surprised by your divorce, friend. He's not disappointed in your future. He is not sitting there in heaven saying, well, that plan didn't work out. God knew exactly what was going to happen in your life. And He is a God of redemption, of healing, of new beginnings. Some people will remarry and some people will not. But every single person who has gone through divorce can build a life filled with joy, purpose, and meaningful relationships. Your worth is not determined by your relationship status, and your future is not limited by your past, my friend. One final thought I want to leave you with today. If you're listening to this episode and you're feeling discouraged about dating, I want to encourage you to shift your focus just a little. Instead of asking, will I ever find someone? Ask yourself, am I becoming the person I want to be? Growth attracts growth. Confidence attracts confidence. Healing attracts healthy relationships. When you focus on becoming emotionally healthy, spiritually grounded, and confident in who you are, you naturally create space for the right relationship to enter your life. Joy seekers, dating after divorce can feel messy, overwhelming, confusing. It can feel uncertain, but it can also open a new season of discovery, growth, and even hope. You are not behind, my friend. You're not broken, and you are certainly not alone. God still has a plan for your life, and sometimes that plan includes love showing up in ways you never expected. As you put your faith and trust in God and trust that His plans for your life are far better than anything you can imagine, you will see miracles. And if you haven't seen those miracles yet, do not give up because God is not finished in your life yet. Thanks so much for being here today, friends. If this episode has resonated with you, give this video a thumbs up and share with me in the comments what has been your experience dating after divorce. I would love to hear, and I read every one. Also, remember that you can find more support through the Find the Joy app available on my website, findthejoywithjen.com. Inside the app, you will get daily inspiration, exclusive content, discounts on programs, and the opportunity to submit your own questions so I can personally help guide you through your divorce journey. Thanks so much for being here, Joy Seeker. It is still possible for you to find joy in your journey, my friend, and I can help you find it. Bye, y'all.